How are we doing, guys? We're back again before the whistle blows. Game week number 27. I can't believe we've done 27 of these already. But we've got two debutants. We've got two debutants on before the whistle blows. First of all, we have got Chris Brack. How are things, mate? From, of course, LFC Day Trippers. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, apart from the football, mate, I'm really good. Really good.
Well, that's good. We're going to chat about. That's the thing. Honestly, mate, it's horrible. It's horrible when you just can't win a game. It is. I mean, I've known that feeling for about 10 years before Marcelo Bielsa turned up. It's dark times. But Matt,
listen, I live with Roy Hodgson. Nothing's as bad as that.
Christian Poulsen and that lot. It's Paul Konchesky. I mean, honestly, that was just unreal that time. But Matt Hayes, how are things, mate? Obviously, a debut for you, but not a debut on the channel, though. Not a debut on the channel. We obviously have had you on before when you were gloating about Tottenham beating us 3-0. How's things, mate?
Yeah, all good. Thanks for having me on tonight, Oscar. Pleasure to be here.
And of course, we've got our usual guests. Of course, Locks, though, once again, has decided to bail on us because Locks, it just, well, I mean, we've got to be asking questions now, Locks, haven't we, Hal?
Got to be asking questions of Locks. That's very, very harsh. I've actually started. Elena, I literally hadn't even said hello yet. You've already interrupted me.
You know what? This is my fun time. Is when I get to bully you a bit. So it's fine.
I think bullying's a stretch. Just being rude would probably be the correct term.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say. No, all right, you carry on as well. Anyone else, Corey?
No, I'm sweet.
I'm just going to say, I think I should have given. I was going to give Chris and Matt training just to be on the video with the great man Hal. To be fair, because it is an experience. It is an experience the first couple of times. I'm not going to lie, mate. You are a legend of Yorkshire.
I've done a video with Matt before.
Fair enough. But I mean, even second or third time, it takes a while. It takes a while to get used to.
He's probably nicer to them than he is to me.
He brought me in a lot of views, I'll say that much.
Oh, so.
Yes, Corey, you're welcome.
But anyway, Hal, big result for you lads.
Yes.
This week, you managed to do us a bit of a favour there in terms of we had a bit of stick from the Villa fans. To be fair, a certain clip got retweeted from our post-match video, and to be fair, out of context, it didn't look too great. But you guys did us a favour beating the Villa.
Yeah, we had everything against us. VAR, ridiculous red card decision on Phil Jagielka. If that's a red card, we might as well all pack up and go home. 45 yards from goal, a man covering, not going direct on goal. Referee looks at it at the time, gives a yellow. What's the point? It's got to be clear and obvious. And if it's not, then you let it go and you go with the original decision on the field. It still came down to interpretation, just an interpretation from Stockley Park. Despite that, we still managed to pull off the victory in true battling blade style. I was delighted.
I've even changed my backdrop for you, Hal. I've even got a certain legend here. Don't know if you can tell who it is. It's a little bit zoomed out.
I can't.
It is Vinnie Jones, anyway.
Oh,
it is
right.
Vinnie Jones.
Nice.
It's zoomed out. It's zoomed out. That's the issue, anyway. But Elena, how are things?
All good. I mean, we've managed to win 2 games, so that's good. That's a positive. But yeah, hopefully we can do it more convincingly against Palace. But yeah, we're good. First half performance great. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Hal's watch along. By the way, on his game, even though we may bicker on here, it was a brilliant. We are friends, really. It was a brilliant watch along. So if you are bored of watching Sheffield United at any point in time, go watch Hal's watch alongs because they're great. Even though that game wasn't boring, but yeah.
But Corey, I'm going to go to you last because I think you've changed, Corey. I'm not going to lie, you have changed. I mean, compare it to the first couple of videos when you were just,
just a young start out now.
Reserved. Young start out, reserved, quiet almost, but a top guest on the channel. But now, you've been. I mean, every single video you've been having that little digs at Tottenham, little digs at Leeds. I mean, how are things? Being one of the best teams in England at West Ham.
Yeah, cool. No, look, it's I'm a bit gutted really because it looks like it's getting very, very tight now. Everton have got a game in hand on us, and Spurs winning those 2 games, so it's going to be a real interesting finish. But particularly within about 5 places, anyone can move. So we've got to beat Leeds on Monday night really if we're going to start kicking around those places. And I believe we can, but I'm sure we'll get into it.
I think I've noticed a bit of a change there because last week you were saying we're going to get something at City. We're going to get something at City.
No.
I'm noticing a change here.
On the City thing, of all of the games they've played, I think we played the best against them, personally. I think we were the closest ones to get something. But
Arsenal played all right against them, to be fair.
You didn't play all right against them.
No, we didn't. I did. That's why I didn't mention us. But Arsenal played all right. You and Arsenal had pretty decent games against them, to be fair.
We gave them a proper game. You know, John Fleck was a lick of paint away from equalising.
Are we the only team here who's beaten Man City this season?
There we go. Tottenham fans in there straight away. That's your trophy. That's your trophy for the season.
Yeah, it probably is.
But anyway, before we... I wasn't expecting that as a response, to be fair.
I was.
You'd think we'd start going on about expected trophies, because that's all I hear from these lot.
Fair enough. Right, we'll go into... Before we get into our debate about the games, we'll just remind you of our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes, you can see in the top right of the screen there. Make sure you check them out. Some fantastic prizes on offer. I'm just going to go through them now. Leeds United specific stuff. We've got a fantastic piece here. A Leeds United 2019-20 signed and framed autograph montage from last season. What a season it was. 66 tickets available, $4.95 a ticket. Competition ends on Monday, just before the West Ham game. Get on it, guys. Get on it. What a season it was. History. Make it. Make yourself part of history. Get a ticket, guys. Make sure you check out Football Prizes because there's some other fantastic Leeds United-based memorabilia on offer and up to prizes. So let's also look at something non-Leeds related. What a fantastic piece this is. Well, I mean, to be fair, Joe Wayman does say he's the GOAT of all time in terms of compared to Messi. I've still not forgiven Joe Wayman for that. But look, what a piece that is, to be fair. Cristiano Ronaldo signed and framed football boot. And that is one of many prizes, to be fair, on offer from Football Prizes at the minute. Make sure you get a ticket, guys. $5.95 a ticket for this one. Competition ends on Monday. Monday the 15th. So you've got a bit more time on that one. But some fantastic prizes on offer at the minute. And even if you're not a Leeds fan, if you're not a Tottenham fan, not a Liverpool fan, you just watch this video for fun, which is absolutely superb, check them out because there is something for everyone. Every club, check them out. Football Prizes. Get on it, guys. So let's get on with the video anyway. Let's get on with the first couple of games. And to be fair, I'm going to go to Chris first because
thanks for that.
I thought get it over and done with for you, mate. I mean, has it got to a point now, Liverpool? I mean, I was just on Rivalry Aside's channel before this. Absolute legends, by the way. Rivalry Aside, make sure you check them out. And it's 7 games now at Anfield in a row. 5 defeats, 2 draws.
Yeah, first time in our history we've lost 5 in a row. So, I mean, no, it's not great, mate. It's not great.
When you're breaking Roy Hodgson records, it's worrying times, isn't it?
It is. It's a sheer lack of confidence. There's too many players who are just bang out of form. You know, it's probably the worst I've seen Sadio Mane play in a season. It generally is the worst I've seen Sadio Mane play. He's just not doing it. And, you know, just over circumstances, lots of silly mistakes. The goal itself, you know, Mount last night, great finish. But there are basics of defending of, you know, show someone outside, don't show them inside on a stronger foot. And if you're going to, double up at him. So it's a bit of a perfect storm at the moment, but you've got to ride it through. We've had the last 3 years for us have been brilliant. You know, Champions League finals, league titles, you know, Champions League winners. You've got to have dips at some point. I've been through dips with Liverpool. We just got to ride it through. And at some point, it will turn. You know, things like this don't last forever. You just got to take your medicine at the moment as a Liverpool fan. And if you don't, you know, I know a lot of us don't like it, but it's just our turn at the moment. So that seems to be our turn. You know, I do think at some point it will turn. Whether it'll turn enough for us to get top 4 this year seems highly unlikely. So they've got to look at planning for next season and planning how they're going to get themselves back into it.
I mean, I honestly look at Liverpool. I just think it's obviously a big thing is the injuries, really. That's the big thing. You know, when you're having to move, I think it's more because you're having to move players about. Obviously, you know, you look at people like Jordan Henderson's out at the minute, big leadership missing on the football pitch. Van Dijk out as well. You know, do you feel that when you do go into next season, it's just going to be a blip? You know, we look at City last season. I mean, do you feel that you can kick on again and just recover from this straight away, Chris?
If we get our recruitment right, yes. The big hole for us at the moment has actually been the backup players. When we've needed the backup players set up, so the likes of your Kaitas, your Chamberlains, your Shakiris, they're just not available often enough. Matip, he's your backup centre back. He's a very, very good centre back. He's never fit, and that's been the problem, and that's compounded it. And then you've got the likes of Origi. His time's done. His time's been done for a little while. And then unfortunately for us this year, out of the front three, only Salah's really banging this year. You know, he's doing as good as he has always done. Mane, you know, to be honest, Firmino's poor form is probably hiding a little bit of how can I put it, criticism for Mane. Because for me, he is getting away with it a little bit, because I think Mane has 2 more goals in the league this year than Firmino, but no one talks about it. And I love Mane; I think he's brilliant. But he's having, by his standards, a pretty poor season. And you know, I think Jota coming back, that the hopeful is if he can get himself up running quite quickly, that's going to give us a spark, because he was giving us that spark. Probably up to Christmas, because he just gives something different. He actually put a bit of pressure on Firmino and Mane, which actually probably brought something out of their games. But we're just not seeing it at the moment. And look, the young centre back brought in Kabak. He's only 20, but he hasn't settled yet. But he's a 20-year-old lad. You know, it's our own fault for leaving it to deadline day to bring him in. You know, maybe if you bring him in 3 weeks early, he's a bit more settled. Yeah. So it's to us, part of the season is a bit of a perfect storm. But there are definitely elements of the team I think this probably was always going to be there last season, and I think that's part of the evolution now.
I'm going to ask you a question about Salah. I mean, what on earth was the thinking behind that in terms of taking Salah off? You know, with half an hour to go last night. I mean, were you perplexed by that change, mate? Yeah,
I don't see why you take your top goal scorer off. Now, manager spin is manager spin. He said he felt he was feeling the game and he didn't want to risk him, and then he did one throwaway line tonight, which I don't know if it's true or it's not. He just said, well, half an hour of Salah missing last night probably means he can play against Fulham. So I don't know whether he's carrying something, he's got a niggle. You know, his agent's doing the full stop thing just for a bit of attention, a bit of a, you know, bit of notoriety. Don't particularly get it. But yeah, it didn't sit right with me. I mean, first, look, Klopp's brilliant for Liverpool. It has been, but his subs last night were a bit baffling. They weren't personally the subs that I thought we'd make, but you've just got to see what happens. Hopefully, it'll flick it into gear soon. It doesn't help the fact that I do wonder with Klopp, and I think Alisson's in the same boat. I don't know how they're coping, still doing their jobs with what's gone on in their personal lives. I do think that's quite an unusual thing. I mean, for me, I would have liked Klopp taking out the limelight a little bit, and actually one of his assistants just do a few of the press conferences, a few of the post-match stuff, because you don't sit there for 30 seconds and just make something up. You know, plenty of other managers done it. Just take a bit of pressure off him. I think that's what we need to do at the moment.
That's the thing. It's like every interview, it's hard to watch interviews because you're thinking what Klopp's going through at the minute. You're thinking from a human point of view. You're just thinking some of the answers, the questions and that lot. And you're thinking, I mean, you know, it's not great, is it? It does feel like there's a bit of a. I think a lot of people kind of going back towards the start of the season when obviously Klopp was making the 5 subs argument and that lot, and there was a lot of different opinions on it, and some people felt he was a bit over the top in terms of that. I think me and Hal had that discussion about it. Was he a bit over the top in terms of what he said? But I mean, it's just common sense, isn't it? Just take him off the interviews just for the time being and just let him focus on the management.
I think at the start of the season, he's quite an emotional guy, Klopp. So, you know, if he's annoyed, you'll know he's annoyed, and he'll tell you. I think he felt like he wasn't being heard or his opinion wasn't being respected. You know, it was a legitimate opinion, and he gave reasons why he thought that was the opinion. But he was very dismissive of, "Oh, you're just saying that because you've got a bigger squad," and that wasn't really his guys. You know, about it. He was saying it was more for injury prevention, which every squad would have liked to rotate. And there have definitely been games we've seen with other clubs now where they're going. Look at Leicester now. Leicester are starting to catch us up. And there have been games where you've seen Roger saying, I've had to play players with niggles, and he wished he could have took them off. You know, I think it's just because it's a condensed season, but we are where we are, so.
I mean, there's a lot of questions coming in about Salah, but I like this question in particular. Obviously, I think it's a 2-part question, really. There's a couple of other comments coming in. I mean, do you fear anything with Salah now? Obviously, you know, in terms of he's sort of said from time to time about Madrid's kind of not flirted too much, but do you ever fear that Salah might move on if Liverpool don't finish in the top 4 and maybe finish kind of out? It's even possible they might finish outside the top 6. Do you fear possibly losing someone as good as Salah in the summer, Chris?
At the moment, no, I don't. That interview we did with the Madrid stuff, and it was a line he did a bit later. Felt to me more like he was trying to get his contract extension sorted. The thing with Salah, if he decides he wants to go and the club wants to sell him, I'd love to know. It's going to be, there's only a handful of clubs that could afford him, and we aren't going to sell him to another English club. So that rules out the 2 Manchester clubs. So realistically, it's PSG is probably the only club that I would say could afford him. Bayern aren't going to pay that kind of money, and the Spanish big boys at the moment are struggling, especially Barcelona are struggling for money. Madrid potentially, because I think they've got a big sponsorship deal coming up, but I don't think the front three will be the same next year. I think Mane will stay. I do think Salah will stay probably for 1 more year. If it was me, I think Firmino is the one that will move on. Either become a squad player or will move on completely.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans I know said that, I've always kind of said that, Salah and Mane, they're unreal. But like Liverpool fans I've spoken to, not so much this season, of course, but in the past have said, yeah, but they wouldn't get half the goals they would without Firmino. I mean, do you fear in terms of finding someone as kind of selfless as Firmino as kind of a replacement? Do you think that might be a bit difficult?
Yeah, but I'd like to think the evolution of the squad is not, as the phrase obviously is, it's Firmino is the system and it's the way he links play, but his link play hasn't been good enough. And that's so, when you take that out of his game, you're a bit like, well, it's a bit of a spare part now. For me, I could see Klopp looking to evolve the system, which might mean you don't need a like for Firmino. It could be a completely different type of player. You know, do Liverpool flip to, I don't know, 4-2-3-1 and look for a more out-and-out number 9, and then you play behind him, Salah's, your Mane's, your Jotas, and look for a number 10, a proper number 10. You know, do you look at someone like the guy from Lyon's? Do you look at someone like that? I do think that's what Liverpool are going to. It wouldn't surprise me with the outs, like when Wijnaldum leaves. I don't think the replacement for Wijnaldum will be a like for Wijnaldum. It'll be someone completely different, because I do think that's going to be the change for Liverpool. It's going to be changing the shape and perhaps just changing the way we do things a little bit, like City have done. At some point, you know, we've had the same squad now for 4 years, pretty much. At some point, you've got to evolve it and tweak it, and maybe this is the time to evolve it. They've just been unfortunate that the level of change we've had to do, some have been enforced, but I do think at some point there's some we're going to flick it along anyway.
Fair enough. But let's look at the actual game itself in a bit more detail. Obviously, Matt, Spurs have just played Fulham. I mean, do you see Fulham as, having seen them, yesterday, as a team that could potentially cause an upset here at Anfield?
Absolutely. They're such a sticky team. And look, for a lot of the game, a lot of that first half last night, it looked like we were firmly in control of it, but they managed to hold on in there. And when they were given their chance to, by the change of our tactics, to actually kind of play themselves into the game, they took that opportunity, and they did control a lot of that second half, which I do think was probably the fault of our manager. But nonetheless, they actually took that opportunity and did manage to push on and create chances in that game. I think without Hugo Lloris, Fulham could have gotten a draw or could have won that game. But that's the benefit you have of having world-class players in your team, and they'll be going to Anfield knowing full well the situation that Liverpool are in. You know, as Chris was saying, the first time they lost 5 home games in their history. It's the first time defending champions have lost 5 home games in a row. They're on a very poor run of form, and Fulham will know that. And Scott Parker has his team drilled so well. They know exactly what they need to do, and every single one of those players seems to be on flying form. And with the addition of Josh Maja in there, I think he could really, really cause Liverpool a lot of problems. And having Ademola Lookman and Ivan Cavallero on either wing, you know, I saw a stat earlier on today that said Liverpool have conceded the most successful through balls in behind their defence, more than any other team in the league. They're at, I think, 58, and the next highest is in the 30s. So they really are struggling with the loss of those defenders, like Van Dijk and Gomez, who are known for their recovery pace. You know, with the two of them there, you can play such a high line and you can feel comfortable. But with Alisson coming off his line and the two of them recovering, that you're not going to really be, that space in behind them won't be exploited too much. They don't have that liberty this season with the likes of Fabinho and Henderson dropping back in there. Yes, they're extremely talented players, and I think they're players who have done a fantastic job in that position, but they don't have the pace and they don't have the know-how and the awareness to actually deal with things like that as centre halves. Fulham are going to try and target that. And look, as bad as Liverpool are going, they're going to come out and they're going to try and play football. They're going to try and control the game, because if they didn't, with the quality they have and with the fact that they are the defending champions, they might as well just pack it in now. But Fulham are going to be absolutely ready for this game, and Fulham defensively are absolutely exceptional. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like only 3 or 4 goals conceded in their last 7 games, and they don't win games very often, but they're really, really hard to beat, and that's why they have 11 or 12 draws in the Premier League this season. And look, if you say to a Fulham fan right now, you can go there, you can get a sticky 0-0 or a sticky 1-1. I think they take that, and I think that is something that they will be fully capable of. But having said that about Liverpool with the weakness in their defence, their front 6 is still extremely strong. Was it Wijnaldum, Thiago and Curtis Jones who started in the middle of the park against Chelsea, and then that formidable front 3, as much as they are not on form and aren't playing to the best of their ability this season, they're still among the best football players in the world. You can argue with Thiago his whether or not he fits into that Liverpool squad. Personally, I don't think he does, but it's hard to judge because this entire Liverpool squad doesn't seem to fit in to what they're trying to do at the moment. So I think it would be harsh to judge, a person who's of course won the Champions League, is one of the best midfielders in the world for me, to judge him on what is happening now. But at any given moment, on any given day, that Liverpool front line can show up and they could go out and score 4, 5, 6 against Fulham at the weekend. They did it against Palace earlier in the season. They scored 7. Granted, a lot of things have changed since then, but I can see Fulham making this really, really sticky. But I do think the quality of Liverpool will shine through, and they'll get back to winning ways at Anfield.
Go on, I'll push you for a specific prediction then, mate.
I'll go 2-1.
Right, let's go around the panel anyway. So, Hal, what are you thinking? Liverpool, Fulham.
Yeah, literally everything Matt just said.
I was gonna say. I mean, that's probably like 4 people's worth of commentary. That's Matt. I mean, it's a perfect summary for me though of the game. I mean, go on, Al, give us a prediction.
1-0.
Who to?
Yeah, definitely one of them. Liverpool, I think.
Okay. That was you seem very confident about that, Hal. Anyway, Corey, what are you saying? Liverpool, Fulham.
I'm gonna go 1-0. Yeah, I fancy Liverpool to still keep struggling.
Okay. Elena.
I mean, Fulham are a tough team to play, but I think that all depends on how you play against them. We looked pretty in control in that first half, but anyway, I don't think you lot would do what we did. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool. You've got enough quality to beat them. Yes, Scotty Parker has been very drilled, but they're not the hardest team to play against. We showed that in 45 minutes. So if you just keep up the tempo, they won't be able to hold you back, I don't think. If you give them the ball, they've got good attacking outlets. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool, but I don't think Klopp will change too much just to play Fulham. But you never know.
Fair enough. And Chris, I'm going to go to you last. Liverpool, Fulham. Push you for a prediction there.
I've got 2-0. I think it'll be a nervy 2-0. I can see quite a lot of changes for Liverpool, personally.
Yeah, I'm going the same. I've backed Liverpool. I think with Jota back in, I just think Manny and Salah, I think naturally they might have been a bit comfortable last couple of weeks because they've now got Origi on the bench, Shaqiri on the bench. You're not going to lose their place. All of a sudden, Jota turns up. A little bit more risk.
I think I've got more chance. I think I've got more chance of playing at the moment than Origi. Honestly, he's just literally there to make up the numbers at the moment. It's a shame, the lad. He's done a lot for the club, but his time's up, sadly, for him.
No, definitely. But I think there'll be a bit of a lift. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool. So let's go on to. Yeah.
Can I just point out, S. Foden has said I'm the only Yorkshireman on the entire panel.
I'm not from Yorkshire, to be fair. That's it's not a bad shout.
I think he's right. I'm just really, that's made my night.
Yorkshire pigeons, like I said last week. I
still can't get over that. The first thing about Yorkshire, all the history of Yorkshire, and then it's Yorkshire pudding.
They're great though. It's a good thing. We do love a good Yorkshire pudding.
They are unreal. But right, so let's go on to your team, Hal. Let's go on to Sheffield United versus Southampton. Is it the Great Escape?
The Great Escape.
Is the Great Escape started now, Hal?
We've been talking about the Great Escape since the beginning of the season.
I mean, Joe said from every single video, next week, you're going to start that run. But to be fair, it's good result against Villa. Can it kickstart a bit of momentum?
Last time we played Southampton was probably our worst performance of the season. But one of the most dangerous players, Moussa Djenepo, Hassan Hurtle has expressed concern after the Everton defeat as he was on the receiving end of a few crunching tackles. So he might not recover in time. Then you've got Minamino. He might be involved, but you never know. Kyle Walker-Peters, Diallo potentially involvement. The trio there that I've mentioned trying to shake off. All three of them got hamstring problems. Theo Walcott, Oriol Romeo, and Will Smallbone, they're all definitely going to be out. So they do have injury problems, Southampton, but so do the Blades. We have got 2 fit defenders, and as you know, we play 3 at the back. So it's going to be arguably the best time to play us if you're Southampton, even though we're off the back of that good result, because Jagielka got sent off and never should have been, and we're not going to appeal it. Wilder was told to not bother with doing that because he wouldn't win.
Well, that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? It was just don't bother. What's the harm in just appealing anyway?
Well, he was advised that when it's already gone to Stockley Park and then the referees had a look on the monitor, they just never overturn it, so don't waste your time.
Plus, if you think it's a farcical appeal, they had a game on.
Yeah, I thought that. But I thought they
Exactly.
changed that. I don't know if they
That's it.
changed that, but I did hear. I thought that they changed that. But yeah, if you appeal when it's not, it used to be that you get an extra game. I don't know if they have, but yeah, I heard something.
No,
I don't
fair
know.
enough, fair enough.
I don't know the rules at all anymore with anything.
I
clearly
Neither
don't
do the
know.
refs.
No, I
Neither
don't.
do the
Don't
refs.
even bother.
I don't know
what is a
handball
red?
is now.
No, no one knows what handball is. So it's all very, very confusing. But yeah, brilliant result against Villa. I was absolutely delighted. Thanks to all those that joined in the watch along. I went crazy. And
It was great.
It was great. And I want to thank you. I want to do that again against Sutton. Does anyone still call them Sutton? How old am I?
Corey, obviously, I know you're very fond of Sheffield United, and Sheffield United are very fond of West Ham. We all know this. But
Yeah.
what are you thinking of Southampton now? Obviously, it's a poor run they've been on since, obviously Hasenhüttl decided to start crying after winning a game of football. I mean, they've actually, I think he probably was right to, because they've not won the game since. I mean, do you think they're in serious bother now, Southampton?
Yeah, I'd imagine so, just because of the amount of games they've lost on the bounce. I actually thought in some of them games, Chelsea, for example, I thought they were a lot better. They looked a little bit more defensively solid, but again, I don't know what it is with Hasenhüttl, but he's really impressive or his side just completely starts sliding. And there's never any happy medium with Southampton. And I watched the Sheffield United game. I thought Sheffield United were really, really decent, actually. I thought they played it with a bit of tempo. They were up for the game. And despite the injuries and the dodgy red card, they fully deserved it in the end. So it's a perfect fixture for how Sheffield United, I think they go into that and try and exploit them a little bit.
We defended like Trojans.
Yeah, you
Which is
did.
a reference that anyone who watched the watch along will get. By the way, Corey, I don't know if you know this guy. There's a West Ham fan who does My Hammers 11.
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
He doesn't know who I am, but he's asked me to come on his podcast. He asked me to come on his podcast. He hasn't got a clue what is in store for him.
Just go full out West Ham hate. Just for the back.
I will.
I want to see it.
For an
Don't
hour.
you have to tell? Don't you have to tell how to do that? Because he just does anyway.
For
I
an
mean,
hour.
Yeah, just for an hour.
Automatic.
Just go into it.
1 hour.
Hal
He won't
gets
get a
up.
word in.
I'll get
Yeah,
to have an
we
hour
think
earlier every single day just to hate West Ham for a bit longer. Just to hate them a bit longer. Am I right, Hal?
Yeah, the hate fuels me.
Love that.
Anyway, Matt, Sheffield United Southampton. Are you back in Sheffield United here?
No, of course not. No, they're terrible. No, I think, look, Southampton have really, sorry, Hal. Southampton they've really struggled, but Sheffield United, I don't know if it's exactly true, but I don't think they've actually managed back-to-back victories this season. Look, there's that many there to choose from, but look, they have been really, really unlucky, and I feel as though that's maybe something that will continue. I mean, we can talk of Brighton and their somehow lack of ability to put the ball in the back of the net. For Sheffield United, it's been some like 14 or 15 defeats by 1 goal this season. It's just not their year. It's whatever they try, and look, Hal talking as well about the lack of defenders. I think Southampton will get back to winning ways in this one. I'll go for 2-0.
Fair enough. Well, let's have some predictions then. Let's go across the board. Elena, Sheffield United Southampton. What are you going for?
I'm sorry, Hal. I really want you to do the Great Escape. Trust me, because I want you to stay on here. But I just don't see.
He's staying anyway. We decided. He doesn't get a choice no matter how. He's not.
That's great.
He can't go.
But yeah, like I do want them to do the Great Escape, because it just would be hilarious considering how it will just show the quality in the league, to be fair, how everything's chopping and changing. But I don't see them beating Southampton. I feel like they will go back to winning ways. Like Matt said, I don't think it will be like a whitewash or anything. I think it'll be a close game. I'll say 2-1 to Southampton, but it would be great. I mean, I would love to see you lot beat them. I watch the watch-alongs. They're brilliant when you're winning. So, yeah, definitely I'll be happy to be wrong in that one.
Fair enough. Corey, what are you saying for this game?
I'm going to go 1-0. I've been a bit boring tonight, but I think Sheffield United will get a point at least in this one.
You have been dull.
You are so much more reserved now. You're thinking last week when you're saying we're pushing for second. Yeah, we're gonna force the Man City.
We are. Don't worry, we'll get onto it.
I'm noticing a different style this week from Corey. I'm noticing a different style. Chris, what are you going for, mate?
I'm going 2-1 Southampton. I just don't think. I think they've, despite the poor run, I still think they've got the goals in them. If you've got Danny Ings on your side, I do think that gives you the opportunity. Unfortunately for Hal's team, it's just lack of goals. I mean, the recruitment side, it hasn't quite worked. I mean, Brewster, it just hasn't worked. And then, unfortunately, I do think having only 2 fit centre backs when you play a back three is going to catch up with you.
I mean, obviously, Hal, to be fair, you did bring it up quite a lot. I did say Brewster would keep you up on his own. I think was the exact words at the start of the season, because I'm absolutely amazed what's happened with Brewster. I mean, is it just a case of he's not getting enough service?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, he didn't get any service against Billy. You can't blame the lad. He's very much like Billy Sharp in the way that if Billy doesn't get any service, Billy's not going to pick the ball up 20 yards out, go on a mazy run and smash the ball in the top corner. That's not his game. You know, he's a fox in the box. He's your Francis Jeffers. If anyone knows who that is, I feel, again,
I do. I do, don't worry.
That is a blast from the past, that.
All right, good. I'm glad at least some of you do, because I'm usually 10 years older than the rest of you. Matt, you asked if Sheffield United had ever won back-to-back games this season. I'm just having a look in the almanac, and it depends. Do you count cup games?
Not FA Cup. It doesn't count when you're playing a League Two team.
Hal's face said the drop in Hal's face when he said not FA Cup.
Wait. He just said doesn't count when you're playing a League Two team. So most of the stat-padded goals that you lot tweet about are pretty much not true either on our side as well.
Well, 6 against United, 5 against Southampton, 3 against Leeds, West Ham.
He had to get in there.
I'm talking about our Europa games and our cup games, because there's about 40 in there that don't really count. But anyway, go on.
Well, if you take out a defeat against Tottenham and a defeat against Chelsea, then yes, we've won back-to-back games.
Well, there you go.
You win this one, Hal. You win.
What are you going for prediction-wise?
Not doing a prediction. It's become a superstition.
Oh, you never do. Yeah, you never
every
do.
game I haven't done a prediction. Hasn't made any difference, but I'm still sticking.
I don't want to make me funny, Hal, but do you not think the superstition is starting to be like counterproductive now?
No, we didn't do a prediction on our watch along for the first time against Villa, and we won. So I can't break that hoodoo.
Okay, you're being awkward. Basically, just being awkward on this one.
What you mean, just being myself? It's not like what week 28
or whatever.
You
gave the laziest prediction I've ever heard of it to go 1-0 to who? Someone. I mean,
yeah, because Oscar, predictions don't mean anything. I keep saying it; they're a complete waste of time.
You're on like a predictions video here.
That's what it's all about.
No. The interesting thing is talking about the form, the injuries, what we expect the game actually to play out like. I think just giving a score, total waste of time.
Okay, fair enough. All the more with a simple prediction, but there we go. Right, next game. Let's go on to the Manchester derby at the weekend. Obviously, Man City chasing a massive record from Bayern Munich. They're closing in now in terms of the games. I mean, Elena, do you fancy Man City to break the record in terms of the winning run?
Yeah, I think I do. I think they're unstoppable right now. They look great, even when they're not playing up to standard. They create so much. Yeah, you can hurt them in like maybe if they're so open, but their defense seems so solid. I totally expect Man City to keep this winning run on and break the record. I think they're a team that is genuinely unstoppable, and it's quite funny how a lot of us Like, I didn't expect them to be this good. I kind of didn't write them off. I said they'll be up there, but I didn't think they'd be like this. And it's quite funny to see everyone sort of writing them off, even saying, you know, that they might not even be in that top 2. And now they're just, you know, running away with it. I mean, absolutely running away with it. And they're playing some beautiful football on the way too. So I just think that they're unstoppable right now. I enjoy watching them so much. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I was gonna say 3-1, but I think 3-0 to City.
Okay. It's 3-0. If it's 3-0, I mean, that'd be absolutely unreal. I
just think, you know, they're so solid in defence and they don't concede too many goals. So if they do, it'll be 1 or so, whatever. Maybe if they're 3-0 up, they might concede 1. But I just think they can really keep solid and actually, you know, just outperform this Manchester United side. I apologise, everyone. This Manchester United side, you know, just because they're just genuinely not on their standard at all.
I just want to see Maguire trying to chase Sterling. That's all I want to see at some point in the game.
Yeah, it will be quite funny to be fair.
All Lindelof, either one, it will be equally funny. I mean, Chris, you obviously, Elaine has touched on Man City start of the season. I don't think any of us saw what was going to happen. In terms of obviously they signed Diaz, obviously got a couple of players back from injury, found that kind of magic touch again. Does that give Liverpool almost a bit of hope that in terms of how quickly City have turned it around in like 2 months, basically 2 or 3 months? That must give Liverpool a lot of confidence that you can recover now in this next season.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the thing for City was they lost their best defender last year. So what did they do? They bought another really good defender to add to the other 50 million pound defenders. So it does help. You know, when you have Diaz to come in to now keep the key defender from last year, which Laporte is now on the bench for Diaz. That is what you need. And that was City's problem last year, was defensively they couldn't be trusted. Attacking wise has never been an issue for City. City will always score goals. That's just what they do. They've got pace, they've got flair, you know, they've got dynamism in the midfield. Their Achilles heel was always the centre backs. The only Achilles heel I think they still have is I'm not convinced fully by some of their fullbacks. I think Cancelo's been brilliant. Kyle Walker for me, I've never been a big fan of. And I'm not a big fan.
Hey, I don't like him anymore.
He's from Sheffield.
I know you're not going to like him, but I'm not a big fan of him. I just don't think he's a great defender. I don't. I think he's a great attacker, but I don't think he's a great defender. And then left back wise, I
can bring out some stats from 2017 that I will not do, but I really can.
So that's where I was at. Look, I expect City to win this quite comfortably. I think it'd be a 3-1, fairly pretty. I think it'd be pretty comfortable. United, look, away games suit United. But away games against the top 6, the traditional top 6, and if you throw Leicester in there as well, they really struggle. I think they've only got one outfield goal in that period. They haven't quite got it right. But the reason the second is because although they haven't got it right in the big 6 games, they've got it right everywhere else. So I think City will win 3-1.
We need to discuss this, Hal, to be fair. Azim has not been seen on this channel. You kind of, it's a bit hard to take that, to be fair, mate. A bit hard to take. We want to see him back. We do want him back. We will put a transfer bid in for Azim. But obviously, Hal, how do you feel that 2 former Sheffield United greats, in terms of Kyle Walker and Harry Maguire, are getting a bit question marks against them?
Yeah, by the way, it's only a loan with Asim. So, you can have him back at some point. I look, Manchester Blue versus Manchester Red. Very, very exciting on paper, but it's a derby. Form goes out the window. I actually think it'll be quite a dull game. I don't think it'll be particularly exciting. I think it's got draw written all over it. I know that might surprise a few, but I can actually see this one being one of the worst Manchester derbies in recent years, even though I think City will still go on and win the league.
Okay. I mean, Corey, look, Man United's approach away from home. I mean, if it wasn't Solskjaer and it was Mourinho in that job, there's no way the media would be as kind in terms of the stats, in terms of them away to the big 6. Do you see them possibly, I don't know, just doing the same thing again against City, just trying to sit back?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I hate it. I hate every time Manchester United play a top 6 side. They play exactly the same midfield pairing of McTominay and Fred. You know exactly what you're going to get. He's not creative. He's not trying to do anything. I appreciate he's got Pogba out, but he never played Pogba in any of those top 6 games. So, again, expect the same. He was moaning last week something about checking the Chelsea website. Again, he's the job's too big for him.
He then denied it and said, "Oh no, I got it wrong."
Oh, did he? See, he's just. This is the level you need in terms of coaches. You see Pep Guardiola this season. I know Klopp's struggling at the minute, but Solskjaer is never going to be in that bracket. And it's like Manchester United are never going to push for that title until they get rid of him. So I can see Man City controlling this game.
I think they benefit Man United from no fans. I don't think that. I think certain clubs benefit from no fans.
Atmosphere's improved at Old Trafford, to be fair.
We've benefited from no fans. Well, not us. Mourinho's benefited from no fans.
That's what I mean. I think certain styles of play and certain performances wouldn't be it. Certain fan bases, certain fans wouldn't accept it. I think United fan base wouldn't take this anymore. I think you would hear them.
You know what? I think
he forced them on
away from home. Their fans away from home are really good, and their fans at home. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think even the home fans, with some of the performances at home against big 6 sides, at some point there would be a groan or a roar to say, to push them on, to force them to go on. Which, if you flip it for like my club, I think we're missing that. I think we're missing a bit of the surge from the crowd to get them going. Some clubs do. I do think that's why United, one benefit for them is, and why there's less pressure on Solskjaer is, there's no one to kick off for him. And I think Mourinho has the same thing. There's no one to kick off for him to say, this is crap to watch, because no one's moaning.
I think Ollie gets a pass though for some reason. I don't know what it is about Ollie. I know they're a bit divided now, but like Manchester United have spent a fair amount of money, 80 million. It's not like, and they go, "Oh, we haven't spent in the summer." I appreciate they wanted Jadon Sancho. The reality is, if you get any other manager, I spoke about Poch before he went to PSG. United are a different side, so I don't buy the excuses. I think he's got a ceiling, and he's decided digging him out of holes.
It's actually a good squad. When you look at the squad on paper, it's not City level. But I looked at their squad at the start of the season and thought, with the right manager, do you know what? They would cause more issues than they are doing.
Yeah. But do you know what?
That squad's not far away.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the whole Ollie thing. I think the reason why he gets a bit more of a pass is because the expectation is just so much lower. Like, you get a manager that's, like a Mourinho. I'm not going to lie, I have higher expectations than I would getting, if you have Scotty Parker in charge, do you know what I mean? Like, good coach, but your expectations are different. So I think they're like, oh, I'm not expecting to win the league. Like, I think that's why he got more of a pass until now. Now he's sort of getting a bit more pressure, but generally I think they're sort of saying, oh, well, he's a legend, we're not going to sit here and we're not going to say we expect to be up there. And I think that's why he gets more of a pass. Not that it's acceptable, but I just think in general your expectations as a fan are subconsciously different with different managers. And I think Ollie coming in, their expectation is just so much different to what it would be if they had a top winning manager, for example.
Yeah. I mean, club legend makes a huge difference. If Billy Sharp becomes Sheffield United manager one day, we're going to give him a lot of time to get it right.
You've always got to get Billy Sharp in somehow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I also think it's a dangerous territory if you get a legend, like the whole Lampard thing. I know Chelsea generally have issues with their managers. They just sack them. But in general, you give them more time. You have more of a sentimental value. But it's also dangerous because then you remember them as a manager and not as a player. I think Glenn Odderwood said the same thing when he was Tottenham manager. It's kind of like you don't want to ruin that legacy that you had if it all goes wrong. And inevitably, most managers do get sacked in the end, no matter who it is. I mean, we loved Poch, he got sacked in the end. Like, every manager tends to either leave or get sacked in the end due to poor performances. And I think it's a dangerous territory. I would rather not have a legend do that because I don't want... I don't want them to ruin their legacy and just keep it all happy and smiles rather than have a legend come and, ruin the way that, certain fans, especially younger fans as well, that may have not seen that legend do what they do, think of them in that way. You know the history, but when you see it, it's different. And I think if you see them doing a bad job, you won't, it's quite bad for their rep.
Yeah, we've sort of got that with Souness. There are a lot of fans who never saw Graham Souness play. I mean, to be fair, I never, but I know what a player he was. But a lot of players, a lot of younger fans will remember Graham Souness, the manager, which wasn't great in any way, shape, or form. And in some ways, for Souness, that's tarnished. And there are other factors behind that as well. But that's always the risk of getting a club legend in. You know,
Yeah.
they can't all do a Zidane or a Pep where they come in and they do brilliantly. That's what everyone hopes, but they're more rare than you think of a club legend coming in and just turning it all around. You know, not you're like Cruyff at Barcelona, but you're talking quite the exceptions.
There's a lot more failures than successes, isn't there? I think you look at Pirlo at Juventus; they were winning 9 Serie A titles in a row, going for 10 in a row. The 10 points.
I never thought I would see Chelsea fans calling for Frank Lampard's head the way they were. Like, this is a man like I watched do so much damage, man I hated due to what he won them and general stuff. So I feel like it shows how quickly those Chelsea fans turn. I know their board has a different kind of ambition. They will sack you no matter if you drop off. But I just think that it's quite obvious that it's hard to do that job well being a legend, and I think that it's a very fine line. So I would rather stay away. But I do get the United fans giving him more time, but I feel like they should just sack him at the end of the season quite nicely and then get someone that can take all that pressure on, and they can have a bit more say in putting pressure onto him.
Is he also though just a good shield for the owners?
Yeah, he's he's
probably a yes man.
I don't mean a puppet. I mean, everyone's telling me he's shit. Everyone's telling me he's crap. But the guys they hate are the guys who run it, and they're not really talking about them as much. So is it just almost like he's there to take the flak, so no one talks about us?
But I think a lot of managers would never put up with it. I don't think Mourinho, when he didn't get that centre back, he was like he used it as a bit of a crutch when the performances went down. He was like, right, I'll go. Whereas Ollie shouldn't be there. Like the Lampard thing's different because Lampard only had 1 season at Derby County. Chelsea, you can kind of get if he's still a relatively young manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been a manager for a fair bit of time, and all he's done is get relegated with Cardiff. So how he's there, I've got no idea. So he's becoming, I think, he's the fall guy for the board. And,
do you know what it is?
Down and they'll use him.
Do you know what it is? He did a very good job as an interim when Mourinho was sacked and they got a bit gassed.
New manager bounce, isn't it?
Yeah, he got the best interim they've ever had, and then they were like, "Oh, we're going to give him a contract now." It was all too lovely and rainbows just because you would sack the manager you didn't want, which I don't blame you, United, for not wanting him. Anyway, you sack the manager you didn't want, and then you go get a legend in. He perks you up a bit. You're thinking, great, this is an interim manager that has done brilliantly, and then you just give him a contract without thinking realistically. And I don't think they wanted to really look for someone, trying to get I thought they were going to come for Poch, but I thought they've gone for someone that's a legend. He did a good job as an interim, and I think that kind of clouded how well he would do long term. And I think a lot of the United fans were a bit shocked at how well he did as an interim, and then now he's shown his true colours really. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's get some predictions in. City, United. I don't want to talk about Manchester clubs any longer now. To be fair, Manchester's just Let's get some predictions in. Elena, what are you saying? In fact, you've already said, haven't you? 3-0 City.
3-0. I'll say 3-0 City. They'll go for it.
Hal, what are you going for, mate?
0-0. Awful game.
Corey, what are you going for?
2-0 City.
I was waiting for a 1-1 then.
No. 2-0 City. They're too good.
Matt, what are you saying, mate?
I think United's run of staying unbeaten on the road in the Premier League is over. I think it's last February. Over a year ago was the last time they lost on the road, but I'm going to go 3-0 City. They just have too much in the tank.
Okay. I'm going to go 3-1. If I do think City have got the capacity to score a lot of goals. If they do sit back Man United, you've got De Bruyne, you've got Silva to kind of pick it apart. Foden, too many players there to pick Man United apart. I think they'll get punished if they do try and sit in, and that'll be good to see. Part of the bus getting destroyed is always good to see, as Corey says. Let's go on to it's Tottenham time. Let's go on to Tottenham. I think. Look, last time we had you two on at the same time, Elena and Matt. You had different opinions on Mourinho, and that was before.
Have I got time to just go and make myself a cup of tea if I come back?
Would you definitely
got time to make a full
I come back
Sunday roast, to be honest, mate. You've probably got time
20 minutes,
run a half marathon, have your Sunday roast, then come back onto it. You've probably got time for that.
And maybe a hot bath
Can I just say, your viewers are the only ones that enjoy my rants. Everywhere else I get abused. So thanks, ALLLEEDSTV, for allowing me to be honest and actually enjoy what I say, even if you don't agree.
But I don't get that. I just don't get, how there's so much defence of Mourinho in terms of where they are in the league.
Don't even. It actually angers me. But I will. Oh, Bobby, hi. Yeah. These are people that watch me from your channel. It's great. But yeah, I don't get it either. He's done nothing to deserve this much backing. We are eighth. And we are backing him because we beat Brentford and Stoke to get to a final.
Okay. I mean, look, Matt, last time we spoke, you were, I wouldn't say like 100% Mourinho in, but you had talked a little bit more about the merits of Mourinho in terms of, I think you acknowledged it wasn't great to watch, but the results were coming. But obviously, the last couple of weeks, the results have dropped off. What's your kind of take on Mourinho now? Has your opinion changed on Mourinho too much in the last few weeks?
I just want to say, first of all, anyone who does abuse Elena, they're not real Tottenham fans and they need to stop and cop on. But Jose, he's the orchestrator of his own downfall for the most part. And look, I still back him because at the end of the day, that man has won more trophies in his career than Tottenham have won in the history as a football club, which is embarrassing for us, but it's an incredible accomplishment for Jose. And we have seen recently that he's trying to appease the fans a bit more in terms of, he said this, he was on Sky Sports before he ever got the Spurs job. He said one thing that he failed to do in his recent jobs, which he was going to bring into his next job, whatever that may be, before Tottenham were even in the picture, he said he's going to try and do what the fans want to do a little bit more. And we saw that when he first came in. We were playing attacking football. I think Corey will remember all too well our first game under Jose. We went 3-0 up at the London Stadium. And there, the problems with our defence started because we went 3-0 up, we took the foot off the gas and they scored twice and nearly got back into the game. Then we played Bournemouth in our second game. We went 3-0 up, took our foot off the gas, they scored twice and they nearly got back into the game. Our defence isn't good enough. Whatever manager you get into this team, they will not make this defence work. We've Toby Alderweireld, an aging Alderweireld, who is definitely our best defender. Sanchez, who is a liability, and Eric Dyer, who at 6 foot something can't jump. This defence is not good enough. Jose has the ability to get this team to where we want to be with the backing in the summer. Now, I've said this. People always accuse me of never criticising Jose Mourinho. That is absolute crap. I criticise Jose when I see that it is fit. If the board can say now the money isn't there for Jose Mourinho in the summer, sack him. Sack him right now, because without any money, Jose Mourinho will not bring this club anywhere.
They have.
Anywhere, because he needs his own players.
They've already said the COVID's affected us. They already have said that. We're not going to have a huge transfer window. They've already said that.
But what if we sell an Eric Dyer?
Who are we going to sell that's going to rack up enough money for a Jose Mourinho rebuild? Tell me right now who we're going to sell.
I was about to.
Go on.
We sell Eric Lamela. We can sell Eric Dyer. We can sell Harry Winks. We have a squad of almost 20.
How much do you think we're going to get for these players?
I'm getting there. We have a squad that is so big. They're first team players that have not been able to get into that Europa League squad. Daniel Levy is known for his really astute business. He who was it? He sold some midfielder that was barely getting into our team.
About the astute business, but you did spend 10 million on Jack Clark from us, to be fair. I'm just going to add that in there.
It's terrible recruitment. It's terrible recruitment.
There has been really bad recruitment, but a lot of the players that we've signed since Jose came in are not Jose players, and you can see that. There's enough deadwood in the squad to sell with Daniel Levy and his ability to get fees way higher than what he should be getting for players, to rack up 80, 90 million, 100 pounds that we can then invest into players. If we get a centre-back for 50 million, we get a centre attacking midfielder for 50 million, I think that's enough for our team to actually really push on, because we have the ability everywhere else. We have put in a centre-back beside Alderweireld. We have the full-backs. We have the bulk of the midfield. We just need a bit more talent there to rotate and things like that. And once we do get that, once Jose gets his 2 or 3 signings, I fully believe he can bring this team places. But I said it last night, we were 1-0 up against Fulham. They kind of started control in the second half. And he took off Dele and Bale, and he brought on Lamela and Sissoko. And from that moment, we knew straight away what was happening. We reverted to a 4-4-2, and Ndombele up in the press with Harry Kane, packed behind the ball. And I said in that moment, if we lose this game, it is 100% on Jose Mourinho. And look, we didn't lose the game, and I've taken that as we've won the game. It's a good thing. We shouldn't be complaining about it. But what he's doing is playing into the hands of those who don't like that style of play. And I don't like that style of play. But at the end of the day, he is our manager. And what he is doing on the pitch, what he's getting those players to do, he is doing that for the exact same reason that we want him to do the other type of football. All we're doing is we want to get the 3 points on the day. Now, in my opinion, he's a whole lot more qualified than any Spurs fan who can sit here and look, we're all entitled to our opinions. Everyone can have an opinion, but he's more qualified and he has a better professional idea on how to get those points in those games. So I said it when Jose came in, I did not want him to be appointed. I half and half kind of agreed it might have been the right time to get rid of Poch. I did not want Jose Mourinho, but at the end of the day, that man in the dugout, he is sitting in that Spurs dugout, orchestrating that Spurs team to try and get 3 points. I want them to get 3 points. That's what he wants. I feel there's no point in not backing him and not wanting him to do well. I can disagree with his philosophies. I can disagree with his tactics. I can disagree with his team selection, as I often do. But at the end of the day, he's doing the exact same thing that I want him to do, which is get that 3 points for Spurs. So until the day he leaves the club, I'll back him.
I just want to, the way you're saying it is if I want him to not do well, which is totally not true. So I would like, no, but me not wanting him to be here doesn't mean I don't want him to prove me wrong. So I need to, I just need to make that clear because I get that a lot.
Russ, we'll never get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
I think Kane and Son need Champions League, so I think they need a trophy and Champions League. I think they need both, so I think they're going for that Europa. And I think if they get that, then they'll stay. I think there's a big if they don't have both, because they can be at clubs that can win trophies and play Champions League football. So yeah, all I want to say is yes, he's qualified, whatever. But I'm going to say it again, as I've said many times. I do not care what he's won other clubs. I'm going to judge him on what he's doing at my club. And what he's doing at my club is not that great, let's be honest. All I said about that second half was that we got lucky to not concede. Not about the handball. Handball's the rule. It's a weird rule, but it's the rule.
Not anymore.
But generally, giving them the ball like that and just letting them play that way, it is terrible. And yeah, you're saying we've got poor defenders. Yes, we have poor defenders. We looked brilliant in that first half. Why take the gas off? Why take the gas off when you're 1-0 up? I can't want every game we play, I want us to go 2-0 up in the first half, because I'm worried that if we go 1-0 in that dressing room, he changed the tactics and then we'll concede. I can't want us to get the job done in the first half every game because I'm worried about being 1-0 up. That's just not that can't be done. We can't get every game done in 45 minutes. And yes, we should have. Don't get me wrong, we had the chances. And I'm not saying that we don't have the chances, and I'm not trying to say, the players don't get. He is good, but I'm not saying the players don't get criticism, because yeah, we should have put a few of those chances away. In other days, we're 3-0 up. But what I'm saying is, we wasn't 3-0 up, and you took the gas off, which showed that we gave them all the ball, and that second half was very, very poor, a very poor half. Very poor. Yes, we won the game, and I'm very happy we won the game. That doesn't mean I'm blind to the general fact of I want us to finish games in 45 minutes. It's not sustainable. This is what I've said about every time we have Jose Mourinho. The football we play is not sustainable. And yes, you're saying, so what we're saying is we can never judge a manager unless it's a perfect situation and they've been backed. Sorry, but I was one of the people that also enjoyed the transfer window just as everyone else did. So we can't sit here and say, we had a poor transfer window. So basically the quota is good signing, Jose Mourinho signing, bad signing, not a Jose Mourinho signing. That's the quota. That's the way the Spurs fans talk. They're not his signings, but if they were hitting the ground running, I bet you they would have been his signings to you. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's double standards all the time, and it just drives me insane. All I said was we were lucky not to concede in that second half. That it's not acceptable to play a second half that way, 1-0 up against a team that can hurt you. So yeah, I just think that regardless of what he does this season, he's got to go in the summer. That's what I think, because I think he's here to win a trophy, get the bare minimum if he does get that League Cup. If he does the Europa, amazing. But he's not here to rebuild this team, or he's not here to get 2 or 3 signings in to rebuild this team. So he's here to get quick money. If we don't have the check, what I don't understand, if we don't have the checkbook, why do we have the checkbook manager? And he is a checkbook manager at the moment. Don't bring up Porto, because that was a very long time ago. He is a checkbook manager at the moment, and I don't see, if we don't have the checkbook, why are we getting a manager that needs instant money rather than coaching players? He's not here to coach players and build them up. And unfortunately, that's the way we're run. We can moan and scream about our owners all we want. I'm big Enoch outer, but it's not going to change. They're not going anywhere. Like, it's still the way we need to do things as a club. Anyway, moving on.
Can I just ask generally Tottenham question as I look at it? Start of the season, what were you what was your expectation? Just generally, what
after the window,
after
the transfer window, I definitely thought top 4, 100% top 4, and a cup. And then obviously we did very well. We were top of the league, but we've also got to remember that we were all happy with that transfer window. It seems that now it's not working out. We have to say, oh, that transfer window was very poor. I'm sorry. I remember us all arguing with Chelsea fans saying we won the window. So don't give me now it's not that good. See what I'm saying?
If he does get you fourth, which is not out of the question, because the gap between eighth and third is not insurmountable. It's a couple of results. You know, that's the hope I've got to live with at the moment. But if he gets you fifth or fourth and gets you a League Cup, is that not job done? Playing devil's advocate.
That's job done. That's job done for him. That's what I'm saying. He's not here to then try.
I don't mean him. I meant you as a fan. So if in your head was, I want fourth and say a cup. If he gets you fourth or fifth in a cup, is that not job done? So you go, will we go again?
It's job done. But what I'm saying is that would be luck. What I assume is that would be luck if we do that. And I think that, you know, we're here saying, oh yeah, if he gets fourth, he needs to stay. No. The reason why we'll get fourth is because of everyone else, not because of us. We haven't been very good this season, let's be honest.
So you won't give him the credit if he does well then?
I'll give him the credit, but that doesn't mean that we were in charge of our destiny. We weren't. It's everyone else dropping off, and then I want to be there to pounce if they do drop off. Like West Ham, if you start losing, I want to be there to pounce. But what I'm saying is that doesn't mean we can be deadly. I don't think he should go now. There's no reason why he should go now. It's like, what, 13, 12 games after the season? There's not that many games after the season, so there's no point sacking him now. But what I'm trying to say is we have to be honest in the fact that this team, let's say this squad is as bad as everyone else says, even though I think it can perform better. Let's say squad is as bad as everyone else says. He's not here to rebuild it. So what we're going to do, try and magically get fourth again with some sellotape and, you know, one signing. That's not the way it works. We need to start realizing the long-term issue here is that squad and rebuild it with a manager that wants to rebuild this team. Because Jose Mourinho is not here for a rebuild. I don't care what he says in his interviews. I don't care whatever he says in the PR merchant. But yeah, I just think that regardless, we need to get rid of him because the problems in the team are bigger than Jose Mourinho, and he's here to just win something quickly with a squad that was aging.
Just to play devil's advocate a little bit, well, I suppose it's not really, because I look at City. I mean, for me, though, looking at it on the outside looking in, I still look at Tottenham and think, in fairness to Mourinho, in terms of the squad he inherited, Spurs did spend some money poorly under Pochettino. I think they made some signings where they spent quite a lot of money. Not saying Pochettino did a superb job. I don't think they should have sacked him in the first place. But, I mean, I still look at it and think, I don't think any other manager is going to get Tottenham pushing for a title with that kind of defence. If I'm being totally honest, I still feel that's the big problem. I think unless it's particularly... No, of course.
We're 14th on Pochettino's sack, though.
They've got to do better than 8th. There's no doubt about that. But if they do get top 4 and win a trophy, I still think, even if it is mostly down to Son, mostly down to Kane, probably 99% of it is down to how good those two. I mean, they're both going to get 20, 25 goals between them and very much kind of carry the bid. But for me, I still think that's still a fairly decent job for me off Mourinho. I know it's not great to watch. I know that's a big factor in can they push on from that? That's a different argument. But I mean,
I still think it would be, if we try and do it, we try and you know just you know do that again with hardly any signings, and you know not you know getting rid of the deadwood, shipping out the deadwood even if we don't sell them, the way Pochettino came in and did all that. The problem is everyone say we're going around in circles, but that is what we need right now. Unfortunately, we need to start again and redo all this.
Is it not more the owners, though, than the manager in terms of
100%, but that doesn't mean the manager's still the right man to do that. The owners aren't going anywhere. The owners we can't get the owners out. So I don't know why we're sitting here and acting like, oh yeah, we put the pressure on the owners. Okay, I don't like Enoch. Enoch got to go. But they're not going to go anywhere by next season. So how are we going to push on and start? If they're the main problem, why are we adding to our problems if he's one of them? That's what I don't understand. This is what baffs me. It's like, oh yeah, the owners are a problem, but yeah, Mourinho's not all the problem. Yes, but he's one of them. So don't add to our problems. You know, try and eliminate one of the problems. And I just going to point this one thing out, and then I'm actually done. I just want to say that there's a glass ceiling at Tottenham Hotspur for every manager. Every manager has a glass ceiling. And Pochettino was banging on that ceiling because he got us to heights that, you know, was higher than we had ever thought. But the problem is we need to try break that ceiling. That's not going to happen under these owners. But right now, we're not getting near that ceiling. And that's the problem. We're not even getting near it. So yes, there's a glass ceiling for every manager under ENIC. But what are we doing now that says that, you know, he's worth this time? That's what I'm trying to say. We're not anywhere near that ceiling. So everyone's saying, yeah, he deserves this signing to go win the league. But we're not near it. So if I'm Daniel Levy and I don't invest in any manager, what am I going to invest in Jose Mourinho for because of what you done 20 years ago? Just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I've just found, to be fair, I've just found Corey's burner account actually here. Where was it? Corey's burner account there on YouTube.
Unfortunately, right now it is, but hopefully not for much longer because we actually can't allow this.
Oh no,
look,
you can. Yeah.
Look how big my hand looks when I put it there.
Right, how do we get it?
I think that's a hint to move on, that, isn't it?
Right, let's just go for predictions. Let's go into predictions. I mean, did they actually say who Tottenham were playing, or did we just go straight? Crystal Palace. Anyway, Crystal Palace. I mean, probably the most boring team in the league. Anyway, I can't see it being a thriller. Let's go around the board for predictions. Chris, what are you saying? Tottenham versus Palace.
2-1 Spurs.
Okay. Corey?
Yep, 2-1 Spurs.
How?
I think it's only right you give Crystal Palace the same amount of time as we've given Tottenham.
No.
I've got to do my own show at 10 o'clock.
You wanted a debate, so I gave you a debate.
I am going to say 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay, I'll go to our Tottenham correspondents then. Matt, what are you saying? Tottenham Palace.
I'm going Jose Masterclass 2-0 Spurs.
It doesn't have to be a Jose Masterclass. The players deserve credit if you're going to give all the criticism to them as well. That's what it takes. All the players, so then give them the praise then. Anyway, I think
Matt's just got a grenade there, throwing it, and then just he knew exactly what he was doing there, Matt.
Yeah,
on the friendly fire there.
But it's true though. You do hear that. Oh, the players are the problem. Okay, but you're still the problem too. Anyway, as I was going to say, yeah, I don't know. I think that I think if we play the game the way we did in the first half, we'll win 3-0, maybe 3-1. But hopefully we don't drop off the way in the second half the way we did against Fulham. I would love to see us play a 90 minutes the way we played against the first 45 against Fulham. So yeah, 3-1 if we actually go for it.
Okay.
So do Tottenham fans get on with each other? Because most of my friends are Leeds fans, and they all get on with each other. And I'm just witnessing Elena and Matt.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No one gets on with me anyway. I think all the Jose-ins get on, but no one gets on with me.
Fair enough.
People who
because I want my team to win, and apparently I'm not a Spurs fan. But anyway, it's fine.
Anyway, let's move on.
It's like when your parents argue when you're a kid and you just sit there and going, it's awkward, isn't it?
It's Chris. It's like we crawled down the stairs to ask for some milk.
Awkward. It's just I've got a lot of anger.
Yeah.
We saw them arguing on the sofa, and we just stayed on the stairs looking between the banisters.
Yeah, or you have the goals walkers that have a cup of tea and then you set them off again. You know, it's your fault. Oh God.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking tea when I was 5, but I get the rest of that.
Oh,
by the way,
I bet you were drinking tea at 5.
I don't even drink tea now. Can I just say, Raphael?
What?
I don't.
You don't drink tea? You're from Yorkshire and you don't drink tea?
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol either.
Oh, get off.
This is interesting, right? Raphael Dias Belloli. Who is that?
Rafinha.
It is, and he's good, isn't he?
He is good. He is very good.
That was actually class.
He is good.
Is that the segue to the Leeds game?
Yeah, let's just go. Let's finish off with the Leeds game anyway. I mean, right. Corey, I can see you smiling. I think you're feeling confident as always. You're the best team in London.
Yeah.
Your words, not
second
mine.
best at the minute, but still up there.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, give us your initial thoughts then on West Ham Leeds. How do you see it going?
Yeah, I think it depends on a couple of injuries maybe for Leeds or a couple of absentees. I think if Calvin comes in, helps you massively. I know you've struggled in defensive midfield since he's been out. I know Rodrigo played today on the 23s. I'm hoping he doesn't get anywhere near the team for Monday. We need all those players out. But yeah, I think West Ham can win the midfield battle. If I'm honest, I think we'll be better this time around. We've improved in terms of the players understand the system more. We've obviously got Jesse Lingard in there now. Mikel Antonio will play. I think we can really hurt you, to be honest. But it is a game that if West Ham are serious about top four, and that is a big ask, then we have to go and win. It's as simple as that. But I'm looking forward to it. And my worry, and I had Joe on the channel last night, was if Leeds do get the first goal, what happens then? Because West Ham are going to have to chase it and it's going to open up. And I really don't want to see an open game with Leeds United. So it'll be exciting, I reckon.
Fair enough. I mean, Hal, you have really kicked things off there, like that T comment. I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, Matt, obviously Corey's just touched on Calvin potentially being available for this game. Potentially, it's still, pretty unlikely. But if I was to ask you, I know obviously you're probably not that bothered about the England national team, but if you had the choice between Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, who would you take?
You know, Matt. Come on.
Well, you know what the correct
By the
answer
way,
is, Matt.
could you all hear that noise? Is someone getting a fax from the 90s?
I was on mute, so it actually wasn't me for a change.
On Rice or Phillips, some of you may or may not know that Declan Rice turned down the Irish national team, so he is, along with some other players like Jack Grealish and Paddy Bamford. I don't want to say he's hated.
I know the Irish fans really don't like Grealish.
I hate Rice as well.
We don't at all. I don't want to say Declan Rice is hated, but he's not exactly appreciated over here. But having said that, he is a terrific footballer, and it's bad for me, obviously, him turning us down and playing for West Ham. It's kind of like getting stabbed twice. But Calvin Phillips, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's, even when he was down at Leeds in the Championship last season, I thought he was someone who could have been in that mix. But I do think to some degree they are kind of different players. Declan Rice, I think, in that West Ham team is the perfect fit for West Ham, and that he's that kind of midfield enforcer. He'll break play up and all that. He's not, I don't think, as good on the ball as Calvin Phillips is. So it depends on what Gareth Southgate will be looking for in that holding midfield position. I think with the quality that England do have in that team going forward, I think for that very reason, I think Calvin Phillips will be better suited to the England team. But I think for the job that they do with their own club and for their general footballing ability, I would probably say Declan Rice does have the edge.
Okay, fair enough.
Have we sat on the fence enough there to stay friends with both of you? Has that worked?
Yeah. No, that's all right, man. Just about.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that one, to be fair. I'm not sure about that. But look, it's still very much up in the air. You imagine they are going to be in competition with each other. But let's just get some predictions in. Let's get some predictions in for West Ham Leeds. I'll go across the board. I'll go to Hal first. You're back in Yorkshire.
Yeah, do you know, I should point out my wife is from Leeds and she drinks Yorkshire tea. So we do still purchase it in the house.
It's too late, Hal. It's too late. You've said it now. It's too late.
All right, fine.
You can't rescind the comment. It's too late.
I don't drink tea. That's true.
Too late. You'll be pushing it further now. You're pushing it further. People might have just missed that comment before, but now they're watching this now.
Hal, if Sheffield stay up, will you drink a cup of tea live on air?
I don't know where Sheffield are in the Northern Premier. I don't follow Sheffield FC, so I can't possibly
Sheffield
answer.
United.
There we go.
I do that too. I get told off as well. Don't worry.
I actually knew that. I just wanted to wind him up.
It did work. I now hate you.
It's a long list.
I don't like rugby league. I don't like cricket either. So if we just want to like the full things that I should like, I don't have a wicket.
Please don't tell me you prefer Union to League.
I don't like rugby at all. Oscar. I am not going to give you a prediction because I desperately want Leeds to win, and my new theory of not giving predictions because it curses the team is working. So no prediction from me this week.
Okay, once again. Right, I'll go to Elena. What are you saying, West Ham Leeds?
Right, I see West Ham winning. but I would love for you lot to win. So I'm going to go with How on this one and not give a prediction, because I'm going with the superstition that I want Leeds to win and I don't want West Ham to win, because we're coming. We're going to finish above you. So it's fine. Even with our poor season. It would be great if this is your great season and we still manage to finish above you with our poor season.
Go on,
so
Leeds.
I'm going to back in Leeds, Yorkshire family, all Leeds TV family. Let's go.
There we go. Matt, can you give us an actual prediction?
Don't do it, Matt.
Am I not allowed? No, I have
a score. That's what. Just give us a score.
I have 1-1 written down, but I feel as though there may be more goals in it than that, so I'm going to stay firmly on the fence and say 2-2.
Okay. Chris,
that's good enough.
Is Fabianski fit?
I hope so, mate. I really do. Because if he's not fit, I think Randolph's out, so we could end up with Dave Martin in goal. Which, as much as I like him as a West Ham fan, we need Fabianski back.
Yeah.
I liked Dave Martin playing in goal last time we played West Ham last season at Bramall Lane. He was terrible.
I would say, Matt, I've got 2-2 because Leeds are just a mental side. So, I mean, they're great to watch when you're not playing them. They're absolutely brilliant because you just don't know what's going to happen. And look, as much as I still do give him loads of shit. Yeah, I'm not David Moyes. He's not for me, but I can't knock him for what he's done. He's gone back to a club who, from the outside looking in, most fans couldn't stand him and really didn't want him back. That's a hard thing to turn around. I think no fans probably helped him with that because he got time to implement his way of playing. He's got West Ham playing away. They're awkward. They're really awkward to play. We've played you guys, and even when we won at your place, it wasn't a straightforward routine game. It was difficult. Antonio is a nightmare. He's an absolute bloody nightmare. On the Declan Rice thing, I think long term he'll be a centre back. I actually don't think long term he's going to be a centre mid. I think eventually he'll become a centre back, and do you know what? He'll be brilliant there because he's got the physicality and his passing range from the back actually would work better for him. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. And the other lad who plays for you, whose name I cannot remember, Ginznes, I can never pronounce it.
Suchek.
Yeah, he's been one of the absolute bargains I've seen. So as much as I take the mickey out of Dave, credit where credit's due, and they deserve to be there. I've just got a feeling Leeds will get something in a 2-2, but I think it'd be a mad game. But it relies on Leeds scoring first. I think if Leeds go 1-0 down, I think that'll suit Moyes' tactics perfectly. So I just fancy you to get 2 from set pieces, and I think Leeds with their very inventive attacking play will cause you some problems, especially if you've got no Fabianski.
No.
Okay.
Can I just say a little message to Matt, because I feel like I shouted at him and I feel bad. So I just want to say sorry because I've just had a lot of crap online. So it was like I needed to vent it out. So I genuinely apologize. There's no attack to Matt. This was just a lot. We have different opinions, but Matt is actually very respectful. He doesn't do any of the crap that I've been getting. So I apologize. Sound like it was an attack to Matt. It's just an attack to everyone that was giving me a lot of silly comments. So I just needed to let it out. So I apologize for taking that much time when I wasn't even planning on it.
Matt, it's a build up. It's a good build up for 10 o'clock, mate.
Fair.
Oscar? Can I just say before you ask the next question or whatever it is, or wrap it up? I'm not sure where we're going. 38 points is what Leeds will have after they play West Ham, and that will be enough for all Leeds fans who are still that kind of mindset, first season back in the Premier League, to say Leeds are definitely not going down. So this is going to be a huge game, and I think it cements Leeds in the Premier League for another season. They're definitely not going down, but this just confirms it.
Well, I think that's a lovely note to finish it on. Anyway, I'm going to go 1-1 for this game. I'm feeling fairly okay about it. But guys, before we sign off, I just remind you of our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. In the top right there, make sure you check them out. 2 fantastic prizes on offer that I've just highlighted here. There's many more as well. Leeds specific based is from last season. Squad signed and framed autograph montage. 66 tickets available at the time. I researched this, so it might be less than that now. So make sure you get entering that competition. $4.95 a ticket. Competition ends on Monday, just before the game. Make sure you get on that, guys. Absolute momentous piece of history there. And also, if there's any general football fans, which Hal doesn't like that phrase when they use the phrase general football fans, but it's a phrase we're going to keep on using. General football fans. I'm not talking half and half.
No club. Is that what you mean?
I'm not talking half and half scarves here. I'm not talking about that because that's not
yes,
football
you
fans. I'm talking about proper memorabilia. I mean, what a piece this is. Ronaldo signed and framed football boot is on offer there. 99 tickets available for £5.95 a ticket. Competition ends not this Monday, the Monday after, so you've got a bit more time on that one in particular, but plenty more prizes on offer from the football prizes. So make sure you do check them out, guys. Check them out. Not just Leeds stuff, everything. Every single club is
general football stuff. Yeah.
There you go, general football stuff. But
Like David Mitchell there.
It's allowed.
I guess we'll leave it there anyway, guys. We'll leave it there. And just to say as well, Chris and Matt, we will be obviously doing a video together on Chris's channel there, LFC Day Trippers. And can you tell us a bit more about that, Chris?
Yeah, so it's a Friday forecast, probably similar to you guys, really. We just pick five fixtures to go through. And we normally have a theme to the show. So the theme this week is referees and officials. So I can imagine that's going to be lively. And then I get you guys to nail your colours to the mast with how many goals. I think it was close last time. I think somebody got very close, but we can't remember who it was. And
he's not mentioned it. He's not mentioned it.
Never mentioned it. No. One time he's right, but he never mentions it. And then we get everyone just to pick a player to watch, whether you think that's a good player to watch or a crap player to watch. Just a little bit different. The big thing we are pushing though, just to help us out, is if you go on our Twitter feed, LFC Day Trippers, we've got a link there for a GoFundMe page for Kian Strong. So Kian is a young boy who is, I believe he's 18 months now, and who's diagnosed with brain cancer. So what we're trying to do is raise money to help him towards medical expenses. His family and Kian live in America, and he's a friend of somebody at the Day Trippers. So if you can, give to that'd be great, or if you could just retweet it'd be most appreciated. But yeah, that's what we're going to do at 10 o'clock tonight. So if
Chris,
you join us, that'd be brilliant.
What time did you say it was?
10 o'clock.
I'm going to need a cup of tea to stay awake for that.
There you go. Make sure it's Yorkshire tea. You'll be all right.
Imagine doing midnight vibes on the terrace. I've done that. That's late. You finish at like 1:45.
Yeah, it's not about half 11 when we finish.
2 cup of tea job. Wow. All right.
You're tucked in at that time, aren't you, Hal?
I'm normally in bed by now, to be honest. If it wasn't for this,
that was only a slight bit.
Billy Share pajamas, is it?
End the stream. I might annoy you just asking them a question. I'm not going to do that. At all. But big thanks to our debutantes. Superb debuts for Chris and Matt. And make sure you check out LFC Day Trippers. We will be live at 10 o'clock on the channel. So make sure you check them out. Smash the subscribe button. Smash the like button now on the stream. Smash the like button on the stream now on LFC Day Trippers. Because why not? Why not? I tell you what, if you smash the like button on that stream, you think Calvin Phillips is better than Declan Rice. We'll leave it at that anyway. Guys, so there you go. Smash the like and subscribe button on the LFC Day Trippers as well, guys. We'll leave it there anyway. We'll play the cheeky jingle as well. See you later, guys. See you next week.